How are we now? And welcome to the shed. Black art of wiring up a bike. It's not really a black art, you just follow the colours of the wires, to be perfectly honest, and have a look where the plugs are and plug it all together, so it's not too bad. But I'll be eating my words a little bit later on in the video. So it was down to putting the coils back on, trying to remember where the plug lead goes, etc. Again, fairly straightforward, to be honest. What I do is lay the wiring harness down on the bike. Obviously plenty of wires go to the front and hardly any wires go to the back, so that's the way I normally work at it. And I noticed some of the tape was damaged on the actual loom, so ripped it off, and it looks like the bike's had an alarm on at some stage in its life that's been taken out. There are quite a few black wires in here that have been taped up, so I know the bike runs, I know that everything works on it, so I'm just going to tape it up basically. And I've got some non-adhesive wiring tape which has got no sticky substance on it at all, but for some unknown reason it tends to stick to itself, which I'm amazed at. But the good thing is, if ever you need to dig into it, you can unravel it and it doesn't leave a horrible sticky mess like insulation tape does. Oh, we got lots and lots of plugs and wires in here, but again, just go through it methodically. I knew that some wires went over to the other side, as there are a couple of special fittings on the actual loom itself that clip into the frame, so I had to move the HT lead slightly so that I could actually get the wires underneath the HT lead, which is where they were supposed to be going. Then pop the two clips into the frame and it smartens the job up a little bit. Dead easy, this wiring malarkey. It's a good job some people put videos on YouTube, or else I'd be stuffed. I ended up having to watch my own video to see where a plug and some of the wires went, and I still got it slightly wrong. What a knob. And as it's always stated on most videos nowadays, take plenty of pictures and videos, and then when you come to rebuild whatever you're taking apart, you've got pictorial evidence to help you out. Thought I'd tidy up some more wiring while I was about it as well. This was a mess, so out with the old non-adhesive tape and taped it all up and make it nice and tidy. Started to attach some of the wires onto the bike itself. Nice thing with the Japanese, they sort of colour code some of the plugs, but they also use different plugs for different applications. So as I said at the beginning, really it's not a dark art when it comes to doing Japanese bikes, because everything tends to sort of snap together quite nicely and quite easily. Mrs. brought me a brew out. Oh, she's an angel. Gotta keep a man going with his brews. There's nothing better than a nice cup of coffee. Now at this point I'd got most things sorted in the right place. Came to fit the wires onto the coils and one wouldn't fit. And it turns out our very nice Japanese friends have wired the coils up so that you can't wire them wrong. One's got a small connector, one's got a large connector, so they have to go a certain way. As I keep saying, it's not really a dark art. And also the internet is a fantastic resource. If you need a wiring diagram, I can virtually guarantee for any motorcycle that's ever been made, there will be on the internet somewhere a picture of the wiring diagram which will tell you where everything goes. Okay, so that's most of the wiring done. I did say in a previous video that I was thinking of cutting off the grab rails and the rear footrest mounts. Well, I took the bull by the horns and I thought, why not? I've got another subframe if I make a mistake. Now, unfortunately here, I didn't set the camera at the right angle, so you didn't really catch what I was doing. But again, it's fairly self-explanatory. Cutting disc on my 4.5 inch angle grinder, lopped off the grab rails and one of the footrest mounts because I thought, well, I'm going to need the other one possibly to mount the exhaust to. I have had another thought with the exhaust and I might not need it yet, but we will wait and see. I want to see whether I can fit this one first because it hasn't been done, whereas the other idea I've got has been done quite a few times. And that's just not me. So, after cutting all the stuff off, all the excess, I ground it all down, got it nice and flat, then used a bit of emery cloth just to flatten it all off even more, and threw some paint and primer on it. Next up, fitting the carburetors. Got so excited. Put the carbs onto the bike and then realised I hadn't fitted any throttle cables, I hadn't fitted any choke cables, so they had to come back off again and we started all again from scratch. So here we are, take two. Hopefully I've got it right this time. Fitted the choke cable, fitted the throttle cables, got that wrong, had to take them back off again, put them on the right way around, and then we were all virtually good to go. It had been a very long day and I shouldn't have really been doing what I was doing. I should have given up and said, right, that'll do for the day. But I'm that excited, I want to get this bike done. Wired up the carb heaters, throttle position sensor, did all that. After tightening the screws on the intake manifolds, double checked everything, make sure everything was nice and tight, and I do believe we're virtually sorted on the top of the engine now. I've put the battery box that was fitted to the newer subframe onto the bike because I don't really want to cut the old plastic part in case I want to put the bike back to standard at any time. I doubt I do, to be honest, but we'll wait and see, you never know with me. And I'm still contemplating whether to put an aftermarket shock on it, something like a ZX10R or a ZX6R. Normally the shock absorber of choice for the SV650 because they are stiffer and it makes it handle a little bit better. Back out with that non-adhesive tape again. Seems to be a bit of a fetish for me if you ask me. And then fitted the fuse box. Now I have bought an under tray off somebody off the SV650 Facebook page which hasn't arrived yet. So I haven't put anything on for the ECU to mount to just yet. But it is plugged in so I know where it is. Regulator rectifier's fitted as well. And one thing I did notice was on the original frame there were holes either side to actually fit the wiring loom to. On this one that I've bought there was none. So I've basically drilled them and now I can fit the wiring onto the side of the frame. Back to the front of the bike, I've fitted the throttle cable and both left and right hand side handlebar switches and plugged those into the wiring harness. Again, dead simple really. Now I did have two wires that I was thinking, I wonder where these go, and then it clicked, I hadn't put the radiator on yet. So that's basically the wiring done. Got to fit the clocks obviously, but that'll come when I do the front fairing. But everything is in place and where it should be, so it's nice and tidy, which I'm quite pleased about. So we now have a wired up bike. We've got an engine, nice frame, nice wheels and forks. So I thought I'd turn my attention to the exhaust. Now the internet has gone absolutely mental for this Harpic Power Plus. I've heard good things, I've heard bad things, so I thought, well, I'll buy some and give it a try. Can't lose anything really. People say don't use it because it's got acid in it, which I did find that yes, it has got acid in it because I got some on my hand and it burnt like hell. So I would recommend rubber gloves if you're going to use this stuff. I would also recommend making sure that the exhaust isn't going to move while you're trying to clean it. Right, well it has brought it up something like, but I'm not really that impressed with it to be honest. Maybe if the exhaust wasn't so bad, it would have brought it up better. But I've a feeling it's either going to get painted or I might wrap it like I did with the Scrap Heap Challenge. I've got some high temperature paint just in case, but I don't know, I can't make my mind up. Right, well I think we'll leave that one there, call it a wrap. Well, not just yet with the wrap. And I'll say thanks for all the encouragement that I'm getting over the internet. I am well impressed, thank you. Can't believe people want to listen to me gabble on. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next instalment.